You're watching GoGWBulldogs.com. I'm here with head coach Rick Jones. Congratulations, Coach Jones, on a great win last night against the Shiloh Saints. And must have been one of those games where you thought you don't know what's going to happen, but it was nice to see the first half break open like it did.
Well, it really was nice to see it because you do never know, and especially you go on the road and you take about 118 players, coaches, managers, trainers on the road, and it rains on you for a big part of the time, and it's like we talk about all the time. It's just not a very comfortable setting. You're not used to things, and for some of our guys, it's their first time up there. We've had some great games up there at Shiloh, some one-point games, some blowouts, and we've gotten blown out one time up there. So you never really know. It's a great atmosphere. It's a nice stadium, and they usually pack the stands, and we always pack the stands. And it was really fun to look up there at halftime and see 51 points on the board. I never would have made that bet, but I was proud of the way our guys came out from the very first snap and played with great intensity.
Coach, you mentioned that first snap, 17 seconds into the game. It's 6-0. Touchdown by Drew Morgan. You had several key players last night make plays. You had Houston Kennedy score. You had, nice running from the running backs, and also a safety on defense. Talk about the defensive performance last night as well.
Well, the defense is really good. We weren't quite sure which quarterback we were going to play, to tell you the truth, because we had heard that the quarterback that they had expected to start the season was going to be healthy and ready to go, and he wasn't ready to go. But the kid that they had done very, very well. We'd watched those guys against Warren on film, and they had rallied from like 24-10 or something like that to come back and win the game. So we knew they were a capable football team, and it was a good overall effort. Our kicking game was really solid. Coach Huckabee did a lot of work because of the way they punt the football out of the offensive formation. We had changed up some things on the kickoff return last night because we were concerned about the onside kicks that they had shown, and it was nice to be solid. It was nice to be solid. We'd had trouble with some PAT and field goal situations, and we were, knock on wood, we were perfect on that. So we were happy. In all three phases, really, in the first half, we played really well. Houston has sort of put him in a role that we never would have guessed starting the season, where he's returning punts. He's going to be our short down back, and he's a physical, tough kid, and he has the courage to make a catch in a crowd to catch a punt. And I was happy with him. But it was overall just a good effort, good solid effort, 51 points at halftime. I mean, what can you say? And our guys, we have a good rivalry with Shiloh, and we enjoy playing those guys, and we sure enjoyed scoring 51 points in the first half.
Coach, a lot of people talk about the sportsmanship rule, the mercy rule as they know it, and some people think it's supposed to happen in the first half, but the clock keeps stopping. Second half, though, when the clock starts rolling, got to be a good feeling. You get to put some players in that may not get to play every game. Talk about those guys that come off the bench and play.
Well, we tell our guys you have to always be ready, and one of the things that we have talked about is trying to have 22 starters, have 11 different guys on offense and defense, and also even branch out to make it 33 starters. And we're not there yet. We're not going to get there with this football team the way that we have it, presently configured, because so many of our key guys are going to have to go both ways. Drew Morgan, Cole McAllister, Austin Harris, and I can name, Corbin and some of those guys. But what we found through working and getting some depth is that we're able to rest those guys for certain series, and we go about 2 deep at wide receiver. We're rolling defensive linemen in about 2 deep. Our secondary guys, we try to roll those guys in and also utilize them on special teams. So we're constantly playing a whole lot of people, trying to stay fresh. It's nice to have 94 on the roster. It's nice to have some depth. We just have to keep working to develop those guys. We played 3 nose guards last night. And you just roll those guys in, keep them fresh, and it was really good. And a lot of our guys that, obviously last night, a lot of our guys don't get a chance to play. We had a chance to get those guys in there and get some experience. It was I'm not going to go into the thing that I've talked about it in terms of getting great experience, things like that, because once it's a game like that, it's just let's run the clock and get home. That's pretty much the way it is. But our guys work so hard. I think people don't realize, unless they really think about it, is the guy that's on third team he does exactly the same amount of sprints as a guy on first team. He's paid exactly the same price in many cases. And in, I mean, frankly, in other cases, the guys that are out there are the guys that have paid, in some ways, have done more maybe than some of those other guys. And it's a fine line of when you pull them out and when you push them in. We know that, and I told our guys last night, you know, our 5A competition is over. You know, that was it last night. That's it. We're going to see nothing but 6A and 7A teams from here on out. We know it's not going to be easy, but I think that we, in the first 3 games, we have, you know, we're about where we need to be. We're not where we want to be, but we're headed in that direction.
Well, Coach, we talked about the new challenges this season, the first week, and, of course, this week coming up here at Smith Robinson Stadium. Northside's coming to town, 7A school against a 6A school, and that's going to be the theme this year. 6A plays 7A, and talk about the challenges your team's about to face.
Well, we know the kind of challenge we have to face. I look at the scores every Saturday morning, and I see, you know, I watch what Conway and Southside and Northside, Russellville, and all these people see what they're doing against teams that we might have some familiarity with. But Northside's going to be a huge challenge. Their junior high in the last 2 years has been really, really strong. They've got a lot of good young kids. They have a very physical quarterback. They're a 7A program. They're a 7A program that scored points on everybody. They scored a ton of points last year against Bentonville. They're still rolling up a lot of points. They've had trouble stopping people from time to time, but they're a 7A program, solid. Coach Henry does a great job. And it'll be fun, but it'll also be a challenge, and you know, playing 7A schools.
Well, Coach, excuse me, Coach, congratulations on a great win last night. We'll look forward to seeing you this Friday night.
Thanks.
Stay with us on GoGWBulldogs.com.